I've prepared for us 3 boxes, each with a project in which I aim to complete in today's episode. However, I'm not 100% sure if everything's there, or if it'll all work out. So, let's find out what happens. Hello there, Master Hellish here, and welcome back to my Minecraft Let's Play, where today I'm going to be attempting to make, I'll get these in the right order, a launcher, a teleporter, and gold trading system. Now, as I mentioned previously, I'm not 100% sure if I've got all the right materials, but I have, between episodes, been going around, collecting bits and bobs, sorting things out, making comparators and that sort of thing. Not a lot interesting has really been going on, except I did nip to the end to get more shulker boxes. Quite a few more shulker boxes, actually. I've got a good pile of them here. I got kind of, not stuck, but I kind of got into it. And I raided a couple of cities, 3 or 4 actually, and one of them was a really big one, and I got loads of shells, and I've got loads of spare shulker boxes now, so that's absolutely fantastic. So, let's rattle through these. First up, the whatever this one is. I can't remember what it is. Let's take this shulker and I'll explain what the ejection machine, I think we're going to call it, is. I'm no idea. Right, so here we are at the part of the Nether network, the centre part actually. There's the crossroads. You can hear all sorts of stuff going on outside. There is some hoglins out there at the moment, which is a little unusual. At the moment, we've just got a door, just a little door to take us outside, and we want something much better than that. So the first thing we're going to do is just get rid of this pressure plate and some of the stone here. I'm not too worried about those materials. This is where the slime's going to go. That's going to launch us up. It's directly opposite of our portal, so we can come out of the middle of the portal, onto the slime, press the button and get launched onto the ceiling. So yeah, but because I've got slime blocks and they're going to be moving, these blocks here need to be a non-movable block. Now I think the best one for this scenario is obsidian. Alright, yeah, fine, why? Come in, mate. Enjoy, why not? It's going to be obsidian. I don't want to use a furnace, and they're the two ones that I've got in abundance. Now I think I could use terracotta, but I'm not going to. And we're going to need a button to activate it, and I've decided that nearly all of my buttons are going to be these buttons on gold blocks, because I thought that would look cool. So there we go. Now these slabs are going to get lifted with the slime blocks, but I don't care about that, so that's okay. The only problem is now I can't go outside to build the rest of this, so we're going to have to dig a hole, a temporary exit. Let's use gold blocks. We've got enough of them. There we go. And this is where we're going to have it. Now, I'm going to disguise the redstone for this part of the build in a tower. And then we'll put a beacon on the top and all that good stuff. So let's just line out the edge of the tower. So I think it's going to be a 3x3 space within the tower, like this. Which I think... Hello, no, don't, get off, get off. Alright, fine, go in there, whatever. Yeah, I think it's going to be 3x3 space, and that's going to go up, and we'll have lights and a smokestack and stuff. Let's now expose where those slime blocks are. Let's take this row out here. There we go. So I need to activate these slime blocks upwards, which means I need a piston there. So let's get the piston in. Let's see, here it is, a sticky piston. Pop, with a slime block on top. I'm going to be using wool to place the redstone on, just because I like it coloured like that. We're going to make like a little staircase down from here, and I think... I'm not 100% convinced that that will work, but we'll work with that. Now, the signal needs... Does it need to be inverted? I don't think it does need to be inverted. Let's see. Button on, it go up. Yeah. Why have I confused myself already? I've placed like 2 bits of redstone. By the way, this is my testing world with a mock-up of what we're going to be making today. So I mocked up the inside down there, we built the tower, there's the redstone, and there's a nice smoke plume on the top. Right, so here we go. The thing that I need to do now is put a redstone torch here and here. That's going to allow the signal from the button to come out both up and across. You can see here that that piece of redstone is now connecting to the torch. Then this signal needs to be fed down into that piston. And to do that, we'll probably need a repeater, and we'll also need to put some redstone here, I think. Yep, there we go. It turns a corner. And let's get that repeater. I have got most of the stuff in my inventory already, and put it there. Now, I can't remember what that repeater was set to. I think it was 4 ticks. So let's go test that. That should fire me into the ceiling. Yep, that fires me into the ceiling. No problem. Brilliant. Okay. So then the next bit is to retract the ceiling, which is a little bit more tricky because I need to get the signal up to the top. We're going to use some half slabs for that. And I'm also going to have to build up some of this wall to get up there. So let's do that now. Yep. Now, it'd be quite bad if a ghast did show up right about now, but never mind. So this, we're going to take a signal from the top here, where the torch is coming out, and then I'm going to step it. So we're going to come out with a half slab here, and then what we can do is put I think a half slab there, because we're going to try and get this to step up, and we'll probably do it again. So we'll step it into the middle by doing that. Oh, hang on, I'm stood where it needs to be. There we go. Brilliant. We'll get rid of that one, we don't need it too. So step, step, signal, step. So the signal's going up. And we're going to are we going to need to invert that? No, we're not going to need to invert this one. Okay, so that's the signal going up. It's nearly at the right height here, as you can see. And then we're going to put that into a set of 3 pistons. Yeah, that looks about right. There we go. I'm getting a better understanding of more technical things as I go. Let's just open that up. See, that looks right. If we extend those blocks, that's where we're going to be going up. My inventory is too full. What don't we need now? We don't need the button. We don't need that pressure plate. We do need those iron bars. We do need the gold. Actually, we do need the button. Okay. I think we don't need the slime anymore. Right, okay, there we go. We can start picking things up. All these spare bits and bobs. Right, well, this actually looks like it's correct. So I'll put in the last bit of redstone, which is a line across here. And that makes this open there. Now, so in theory, when I press that button, the torch on the back here will go off. Collect that block. When the torch goes off, this redstone will go out, and these will retract. And I should end up on the roof. So let's give that a try. So stand here. Well, that happened so quick I missed it. That works perfectly. Timings and everything. Let's try that again. Wow. One more time, just to make sure it wasn't a fluke. Yeah, it's so fast I can barely look down in time. So let's repair the roof. Like this. And the only thing we need to do now is the going back down mechanism. Okay, so that looks like it could possibly be the edge of the tower. Or at least the overlap with it anyway. I don't know if that actually lines up now in the way that I was expecting it to. Go away, little one. Oh yes, it does. It just needs to be a block there. Okay, so this is the top of the of, well, no, actually it's in the middle of the tower. The tower's going to go higher. But let's now put the redstone to go back down in. So, of course, gold block. We've got plenty of them at the moment. A nice little button. Okay, and now we need to send that signal down. And to do that, I'm going to... Where's my slabs gone? I've got some slabs. And I'm going to put a slab of the signal coming straight out the back here. And we're going to put it into a piston to interrupt some of this circuit. Because we want this redstone line to turn off. And the easiest way to get this to turn off is just use a piston with a block on it. Oh, should we use gold? Should we be bling and use gold? There we go. Plop. And what should happen now is that when this button is pressed, because we don't want to fire the pistons at the bottom, this redstone on the top will light up, the piston will activate, and that will cut off this bit of redstone line here. And when that cuts that off, all the signal and circuitry beneath won't change, but this stuff up here will get disconnected and they will retract. So in theory, there we go. We end up downstairs, no problem. There we go, folks. That is the redstone all done and working. Now it's time to build the tower, and I think that would be cool to do that in a time lapse. Well, there we go, folks. We now have a tower on the side of our main nether room, and the smokestack goes pretty much up to the nether roof, so the tower height is actually just about right. It's not really for me identifying where I need to land, but I thought it'd be nice. I thought it'd be different. So, let's now come back from a long journey and go, oh, look, there's my tower. There we go. Let's land here on the roof next to the tower, and then we just nip down straight in to where we need to go. Brilliant. And of course, if we come out of our nether portal and go, oh, here we go, up to the roof, wham, we're there in a fraction of a second, ready to fly off in any direction we choose. That, I would say, is a good build. It worked out brilliantly. I did forget the hay for the top of the for the campfires to make the smoke rise higher, because that's what you put hay under that rises. So I forgot that, but I nipped to Stumbleton and nicked some from there, so it's fine. And yeah, okay, let's go on to the next build. Next up is the teleporter, and we're going to be building it within our new Sky Fortress. This rectangle that you see here, this is the start of our courtyard, which pretty much everything's going to be connected to, or at least everything in this area. And this square that we marked out here, that's part of the storage system ready, which I marked out a couple of episodes ago. But what I've just been doing is I've just been putting a little bit of corridor in out of the landing room here, near our new nether portal. So you can now come from the landing room up through this short staircase. We've got the portal here, and this is where one of the main corridors are going to be. Now I've just put that in because this is where we're going to be putting our new thing. What was it? The teleporter. Now the idea of the teleporter is that it's an ender pearl floating on water on a timer, and after a certain amount of time a trapdoor closes and it teleports you to where the ender pearl was placed. So you can basically set it up, go off exploring for, you know, an amount of time that you set up, and then it'll just bring you back. So you only have to go one way, and you don't have to waste rockets or time coming back again. It's absolutely fantastic. So I've got what I believe to be the equipment that I need here. We're going to need a gold block and a button to, of course, start the system off. It's going to have to involve a dropper to give us an ender pearl. We've got some ender pearls as well, and then we're going to have a water column with a trapdoor on top. So I've got a load of buckets. We'll use buckets rather than the kelp trick. And we do need to build a little place. So the idea is that this is the room. It's going to be a relatively small room. It doesn't actually need to be bigger than a one wide hole and a button, but I've made it bigger. I'm making everything bigger this series. Now beneath us I've got bits of platforms and stuff. This needs to be a deep hole-ish sort of thing. So let me try and jump down onto my dirt platform. By the way, this dirt platform I actually built lower than what the whole courtyard's going to be. That was by mistake, but it's actually quite nice because it gives me a platform to work on things from beneath, and also the water stuff from the storage system is going to be running under there as well. Okay, so I need to get under there somehow, so I'm just going to actually use some of these blocks. No, that's not a block, that's the dropper. Come back, dropper. Blocks. They're both grey. So the idea here is that I need to put a hole in, and it needs to come down quite a distance in order for me to be able to throw an ender pearl in and it not actually hit the bottom. We might actually have to go a little bit lower than that. So let's just take a couple of blocks out here, and oh, I missed the ledge. I did try just to get back on that ledge, but never mind. We'll fly to it. There we go. So we're on a lower ledge now, which I've made, and this is just where we're probably going to be putting a lot of the redstone for this project, because it does require redstone. Let's just there we go. Let's get back out there. We're inside a cloud, which doesn't help the situation. Let's see here. So I don't know how deep this needs to go, but I think that should probably do it. I think we can give it a test. So the next thing we need to do, I mean, if it's not deep enough, we can just make it deeper. It doesn't matter. So we'll give it a test. We need to fill that with water and then throw an ender pearl in it. So I think that this bit has got some redstone, which is not by itself difficult. It's quite a big. Oh, I didn't mean to put that one there. I need to concentrate on the water. Ooh, one last bucket here, I think. Now I've got a funny feeling. Oh, no. Ah, that's a half block. Ah, this is. Well, that might work. That might work. Let's give it a go. I have a funny feeling this. Oh, it needs to be a bubble column, not just water. The bottom needs to be soul sand, and I didn't bring any. It's all right. We'll just nip down here and get some. There you go. In the last build, I forgot the hay, or the straw. I can't remember what it is called in this game. And in this one, I forgot the soul sand. Always forget something, don't you? You can never remember everything. Okay, back up again. We could just use the water elevator if we want to. Save on rockets a little bit. And I suppose this way we're going to see how the entrance works. So we come out of there, down these stairs, and then up through here. So this is kind of the way round that we'd be coming. Okay, so let's nip down here and then there. We need to replace this. Water's going to come pouring out, but never mind. There we go. We'll head up back to the top and we'll give that a try. So the idea of this bit is to stand right over it and throw it almost straight down. Yeah, look, see it hit the bottom. It's not big enough. I'll make that bigger. I've made the water column 3 blocks deeper, so now if we throw an ender pearl almost straight down towards the bottom, the water bubbles should bring it back to the top, and it should just sit there. Perfect! And that will stay there for pretty much forever. That's the idea anyway. What we're going to do though is set it up so that we can have a trapdoor drop onto it. So we're going to have a block here like this, and then a trapdoor like that. And see, look, that makes me teleport when the trapdoor closes. So in theory, I should be able to just pop one down here like this. There we go. Go off and do my exploring, and when the timer runs out, it teleports me back. Oh, Endermite! Get. Where's it gone? Oh, well, that's gone. Right, so now I have to do the wiring for this. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put the button to start it all here, next to it. And we're going to put that on a golden block. I like things being on a golden block, especially when we've got so much gold. So it's a green button, because green means go, or, in our case, start. And that's going to start... I don't know whether it will start up or down, and we press the button and it's going to give us an ender pearl, and yes. Right, okay, so that's that bit done. The column and that bit sorted. Now we've got to go underneath to get the actual wiring and timer circuits done. Now we've got a successful water column for our ender pearl and a trapdoor to close. We need to be able to control that trapdoor with a timer. So I've turned the grid lines on because we're building this in the area of chunks which is loaded via our chunk loading system. And I know that this chunk is loaded. And this is part of the work we did a couple of episodes ago where we've got a portal underground passing items backwards and forwards in the Nether. So I'm going to build the timer within this chunk, and we're going to build it just below the system here. So I'm going to try and jump down onto this dirt. Now I don't know if we're going to need this lower platform as a second circuit, but I'm going to try and build the circuit up here. Now I've got a reference picture above me, which is how I made it in my testing world, and I need some blocks. So I've got my lime wool, and we're going to start with the first timer circuit. So the first timer circuit we're going to put right in the corner here. So are we going to do it any lower than this? No, we'll do it at this height. We'll just go at this height. So that is the very corner of our chunks. If we go over this way, you can see that we actually just peek into other chunks, and we're going to have it like this. Okay, so we're going to drop in a bit of wool doing this, I think, but we'll be alright. So the first bit I'm doing here is part of a timing circuit. I'll probably just put some down like that. This is the same clock actually that we used for the clock that throws the item backwards and forwards in our chunk loading system. The difference here is that we're using two of them together, and by using two of them together we're able to make very long time periods. So I can very easily have this at probably a day if I wanted to, and we can also adjust it. So we've got that like that. Let's pop the redstone in where we need it. So I'm just building now this timer circuit. We'll put the piston on the top, and I think that should do it. Now if we put one item in, you can see it does that quite quickly. If we put two items in, it goes slower. 3 items in, it goes slow, and you can see that we get a signal going backwards and forwards. Perfect. So that is working. Next we need to actually get the output from this, which is actually the redstone block, and take a signal from that. So I'm going to use a different colour wool just to help me visualise that. So we're going to take a redstone signal coming out, and then we're going to do something called a monostable circuit. So a monostable circuit can be done various ways, but the way we're going to do it is by having a block on a sticky piston like this. And this is where it starts to get a little bit difficult to traverse the area, but we'll be okay. And then that comes out, and we can take a signal from that using a comparator. And that means that if we get a long pulse from our clock here, like we're getting an extremely long one now because it's not clocking, then we'll just get a flash out of there. So if I just quickly put a couple of items in there. So this bit of redstone turns on for quite a while, but that repeater there just flashes very quickly, which is exactly what we want. Okay, next up, we need to be able to then take a signal out from that, and it needs to be able to flash a redstone torch. Okay, so we're going to have a redstone torch on the side here, and it's this redstone torch which is going to control the second timer. So by linking these two timers together, that's how we end up with our nice slow ticking process. And I think, yeah, this is the redstone here that we want. Now the torch is there to invert the signal. That redstone there, we want to blink off every now and then. Now if we add a couple of items back in here, there we go, we can see that this is not working, and it won't work because this repeater needs to be on 2 ticks, I think. Yep, there we go. So that redstone torch blinks that off every now and then. Every time this timer counts, that circuit blinks off, which is absolutely fantastic. The next thing we're going to do is push that into the next timer circuit. So let's build that. So the next timer circuit is going to be here. Right. So there we go. This is our second timer. Now I think this one, once it's full of items, takes about 4 minutes and 15 seconds to tick once. This one. So we can put items in here, and actually how many items we put in depend on how long we go. Now we need to link these timers, well it's really one big timer now, actually up to the circuit that controls this. So we're going to need an input into this circuit which is going to control whether this timer is ticking or not. For that I'm going to use some yellow wool just because it was there, and I'm going to we actually need to make part of the circuit here, so let's do that. Now I'd like to put a redstone line going into this hopper, but that would link up with this and look messy, so we're going to use a repeater to pass this redstone signal past there without interfering with it. And the idea is if you power this hopper, we will lock it. By the way, this is probably one of the most complicated ones we're doing this series, I think. And we've got a signal going in there. Now that signal needs to come from a latch, and we'll talk about the latch in a minute. But we're going to invert that signal with... oh, no, not like that. We're going to invert it with a torch. Standard torch inversion. There we go. So this is now locked. So if I put items in here, they will flow one way but not the other, and the whole timer is locked. That's how we turn off the system. Okay. I've got an extra torch here we don't need. Bye, torch. I could actually do with some framework, like some dirt or something, to help me get around this circuit, but never mind. And then the signal from that comes... oh, no, not there. Comes in the back of here. So it goes into the back of that circuit. So now we can actually build the latch. Now the latch is an RS NOR latch. Okay, and I'm just hoping there's enough room here, because when I did this in the testing room world, I did it much further away from my water column. How big is that? 3 by 3. Perfect, that'll do it. So, how are we going to build this RS NOR latch? Well, in the clouds it's a little bit more difficult, but an RS NOR latch basically is an on-off switch where there's 2 different buttons. One will always turn the circuit on, and one will always turn the circuit off, no matter how much you press it. So we're going to take... this is the latch. You can see that part of the circuit's on, part of it's off. We're going to take a signal out of there. So at the moment, the system is set to off. So let's just test putting a signal. Have I got a button? I haven't got a button, but I can just do this. I can just put a little redstone line leading into the back of here. So if I do a signal like that, this all stays off, which I don't think is what I wanted. I want it to go the other way. So what you can actually do is just build the latch the other way around, and it will react the opposite way. There you go. So now this timer is on. Everything is on. So I want to turn it off. So let's just quickly simulate that by putting... it'd be nice if I actually just had a button I could activate. So there. So that power went into the off switch of the latch. And yes, look. That's now powered and this hopper's locked. And if we want to turn it on... yes. Okay, so on and off through this latch is working. Now, have I got any other colours? I've used green, blue, purple. Green, blue, purple. And yeah, oh, okay, so I'll use yellow here as the input as well. There we go. So we've got to wire this on switch to that switch up there, to that button. And the easiest way for me to do that is just a little staircase. Yep, like this. Yeah. There we go. We can take out any extra blocks later, I suppose, couldn't I? I'm just going to remove that one there now. And I think that is a short enough line as well for me not to need to repeat the signal. Now, because we're doing a line this way, when we activate that button, it should also activate this dropper that I've placed there in the water column. So there we go. That should now go into our latch. Now, our latch is currently on, so the system is on and that hopper is not locked. So let's just quickly turn it off with a torch to test the button. There we go. Okay, so the system is off, and if we go back upstairs to our teleportation room, hit the button. Did we get? We got an ender pearl, which is fantastic, and the system is now no longer locked. Everything is fine. Brilliant. I'll just pop that ender pearl away. Nice little secret, neat entrance there to ender pearl storage. I'm not going to use chests and hoppers to put loads of ender pearls in there. We can get plenty in the dropper. We're not going to be using this very, very often. Okay, so the on switch going into the latch works. And this all works here. Next, we need to feed the off. And the off actually comes from the timer. So the timer does two things once it's tripped. When the timer trips, it does two things. It turns the whole system off, and it closes that trapdoor, which is going to be a little bit difficult to get to. We might actually change the orientation of that trapdoor. But we need to take a signal out of here. We're going to use the grey again. So we're going to come from here along this line here. This dirt's in the way. Let's get rid of this dirt. We don't need this dirt anyway now. It's just an old bit of framework. There we go. And then I think I could just connect that straight into there. That should just work. I don't know if it's too short though. So I think it was the maximum power is 15, isn't it? Or 16? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we're going to be fine. So there we go. The system will have turned off because that's our current position of this. Brilliant. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is, well, apart from test the whole thing, is actually get this off signal up into that trapdoor to get it to close. I've been working on that final bit of signal and I think I've cracked it. So this is the block we need to power to close and open the trapdoor to interrupt the ender pearl. What I've done is I've got a redstone line coming in the back here. We can hide it in a wall or in a feature or in a piece of decoration, and that redstone line just comes up and through. So let's just have a look at how I connected that. I can jump here. So what we've got is this is the signal that comes out of the clock, goes into the latch to turn everything off, but also we take a line off here towards the trapdoor. That goes into a redstone torch because we actually need the signal inverted. We want the door to be open all the time and then close, not close all the time, not open. Now I'm passing it through the side of the water column with a repeater. So I've used a repeater coming from there and I'm strongly powering this block with the repeater, which means that then this redstone line on the other side gets powered by that strongly powered block and just takes it up. I could have brought it round, but I couldn't be bothered. I just thought, right, let's just pass it through the edge of the water column. So there we go. That's all the redstone done. I've put a few more items in the clock. Not as many as what we're going to have when this is running properly, and I'm not going to spend an hour or two waiting for this to work. But I will press this button. We will get an ender pearl. This section will start ticking backwards and forwards. When it does tick, that redstone will flash and allow one more item to go through this side. When all the items are gone through, the redstone block will move and the whole system will turn off and we'll hear the trapdoor flick behind us. Here we go. Ender pearl. That system is now unlocked and it's clicking backwards and forwards. That's then doing the flashes here, and very soon, actually you can see both in the view here, this should be almost immediate. There you go, trapdoor. and that's what's going to bring us back. So we'll actually do it with an ender pearl now. So let's put that back, and okay, I want to be teleported back here in a shortish amount of time. Did I get that right? Okay, so the ender pearl's in. Now I'll stand right on the edge here, and you'll see that once that's finished ticking, there we go. We're back. We have teleported, and we are in our Sky Fortress. This is done. The technical aspect is, I'm not going to build the room around it yet. It's going to have a room around it. I'm going to build the room around it when I do the rest of this corridor, the walls and the lighting of everything here. So for now, this is it. I'm not going to make it look pretty today. I'm going to make it look pretty when I do the rest of the the courtyard. When I do the rest of the courtyard, I'll do this room as well, because it'll all be the same theme. So we will probably use this in an adventuring episode. I'll load it up with more items so that it'll allow us to go for a longer journey. We also need more ender pearls, but that's not too much of a problem. But there we go. Project 2 done. We can now teleport in blocks of 4 minutes and 15 seconds, and we can have loads and loads of those blocks, like hundreds if we wanted. So we could actually go adventuring for a couple of days and get teleported back in theory. It works well, works neat. It all fits within one chunk, so the redstone shouldn't really go wrong. I'm quite happy with the timing circuit. It's very compact considering how long it is. If I ever need a long timer again, I'll definitely use that again. But yeah, that's cool. It took a little bit longer than I thought because I didn't plan the geometry of having the timing circuit down there and the water here and the button there. I actually just had it all laid out flat, which maybe I should have actually replicated the exact conditions in my testing world. But no, there we go. Well, that's project number 2. Let's do number 3. Now on to our third and final project for today. And this is our gold trading system. And it's not far to go, actually. We're just going to go through this portal into our Nether hub, where we put our project 1 in. Let's press that without actually going up, actually. There you go. You can see it just launches you up there. You'd never normally see that. But we've got a brand new room. So this is how you'd get into the... Oh, great. We've got an Enderman in a boat with some sand. I'll have to sort that out sometime. But this is our tunnels. This is our equipment for the Nether. Our way up and out, our lodestone, and now we've got a brand new room. I built this room between episodes for this project, and I quite like it. It's simple, floor, walls, ceiling, a little bit of detailing, a little bit of lighting and windows, and I'm quite happy with it. So what we're going to do is just going to put our project box just here, and we're going to build it. So here we go, gold trading system. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to put this one, I think, here. Yep, okay. So we're going to make some stacks of chests, and we're also going to do some hoppers for the storage. I'm just thinking about how I might actually get up there, and I've also got to be able to get down here as well, because there's a little bit of redstone below. So if I just do this is going to help me get to where I need to be. So if I just... Why am I constantly jumping? Is it because I'm partially on the scaffold? It was. So there we go. 2, and we're going to have 4, a set of 4. There we go, like this. And that'll allow me to get the hoppers in the back. 1 there. Oh, let's move this way. Okay, perfect. And I think, yeah, it's that top hopper is where our piglin's going to stand. Now that's going to be the most difficult bit. Getting the piglins in here to do that, because I have not thought that through at all. But as soon as I've got the chamber where the piglins are going to go, I will attempt to get the piglins, and then I'll do the rest of the redstone afterwards. There we go. So we're actually making 2 chambers, and I think 2 chambers will be enough for our needs. So there we go. That is the storage system done. That was quick, wasn't it? Storage system's nice and simple. Now we want the piglin holding chamber, so we're going to start by putting some carpet on here. That's where the piglins are going to stand, and then we need to surround this with things, blocks, to be able to hold them in. So I'm going to build some of the circuit, because the back side of these, right there, that's not an easy placement. Ah, you see, that's what I was hoping wouldn't happen. And of course, that's... Oh, I thought it was going to go into the storage system. This is where we need to... I don't know why I'm using lamps here. I did refer to a video. It was a Nembon video about piglin trading, and there was a few aspects of that trading system which I took, but not all of it. Right then, so in theory it stood here, so if we have blocks all the way around to keep it in, and we may as well make this solid, and then on top of this lamp, that's where our pressure plate's going to go. Is that right? That doesn't look right to me. I'm pretty sure this lamp needs to be higher. It does. Okie dokie, lampy okie. Brilliant. So this is where our two guys need to be. And I'm not sure on how we're going to get them there. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. There we go. So what I'm thinking is that I'm just going to glass this off like this. So we've got a little platform for these guys to go in. And I think what we'll do is we'll put a trapdoor here and we'll get them to chase me up some stairs and through the wall. Like here, through here. Now I don't know if there's any out there right now. We'll have to get rid of that block because it's a fence. And really using glass is not the best idea because if there's any ghasts about, they can cause a problem. So what I'm going to do is, this is enough of the build done now in order to get the pigmen in. We're going to get them in, and then we'll do the rest of the build. Now we have our two piglins. Are they piglins? Zombie? Yeah, they're piglins. Two piglins in here. I've labelled them, as you can see by this one here. Labelled this one's called Paul. That one's called Barry. And I've already pushed that one in and give it just a little test, just to make sure that we're heading in the right direction. So we're going to do the same on this side now. Now, to get this one penned in properly, we need a glass block here, but you can't place it because its head's poking out. So we're going to have to put the glass block there, a piston here, and then activate the piston. But just before we do that, we're going to... let's see here. We're going to place... I think we're going to place the dispenser first, because otherwise it's going to be difficult for me to get to the dispenser. So the dispenser, or a dropper in this case, because I don't think it matters which one it is, at least I hope not, because I've bought droppers with me. We'll go there, and then we can have a piece of glass on top and the one on the side, so that'll allow everything to work nicely. Now before we push this glass in, I need to get rid of the trapdoor. And he's probably going to try and shoot me. No, hasn't seen me. Okay, never mind. And there we go. That's the glass block pushed in above his head. Fantastic. And then I can just put extra blocks in to clean it up. And then we can give it a little test. I've got some spare gold somewhere around here, so let's have a look. Oh yeah, just a little bit here. So if I come up here and we just pop some gold in the dropper, we need to kick start it with a button, but once it's started, it's self-perpetuating, I think is the word I'm looking for. I'm not sure. So let's just get rid of this glass block for a second. There we go. And we need a torch on the back for this to work. There we go. Right. So there we go. You see he's got something. He's got some gold. He dropped some leather, picked up the next piece of gold, and then the next piece is dispensed. And that'll just keep going and going and going. So I put about half a stack in that side, and I've put half about half in this side. So that should be all good. Let's get rid of that button, but not the lamp. Yep, I didn't pick up the gold by accident. Not going to keep building around this side, so let's just get rid of that. Okay, so essentially that is actually the gold bartering system done. Gold in the 2 droppers up there, and items come down. And this is what I got from half a stack of gold. We've got some crying obsidian, a bit of obsidian, some black stone, gravel, iron, spectral arrows, some potions, and nether quartz, soul sand, and even a soul speed 2 enchantment book, which is fantastic. And what we've got coming down here, the same sort of stuff, and there's my trapdoor. So let's take the trapdoor. Okay, so that's all good. The only problem now is we need to get the gold up there. And this is the bit that actually took me the longest to work out. So, let's get rid of this for now. There we go. And we're going to start building this system. So, what we need to do is we're going to put a double chest in down at the bottom here. Like this. And then we're going to have hoppers coming off both ways. Both directions. Now, one of those hoppers is going to come down and to the left, and one of those hoppers is going to come down and to the right. So, one off that way, and one off that way. Okay, we can get rid of these temporary ones here now. Now, what this will do, it will roughly split the items in half that go into this chest. Some will go one way, some go the other, which is fantastic. It's just what we need. And then we need to bring them into a dropper line, which goes into the back of this. So we actually have a gap, and then the dropper line goes up here. So I'm going to start it at the bottom and work my way up. And then once we get to here, we probably need to go one more up. So I'm going to have to temporarily take out the roof to be able to stand here and do that. I don't think we're going to need to move the roof or do anything drastic to the roof, but we need to go one up and one more, and then I think this top one is actually sideways because we're going to now push it into a hopper to go sideways. So to get that, I'm going to jump to here, and there we go. So then we're going to hopper it into here like that. Fantastic. Okay, I need to get back inside now. We can use this. Oh, actually, no, we can use this. Aha, here we go. Dump. That's better than that. We might get rid of that. I don't like that being here. It's kind of in the way. Anyway, so there's one of the dropper towers, and then what we do is feed these hoppers into it. So, like this. And we've actually got one extra dropper than we need. Perfect. Okay, so that's good. Now I need to do the other side. Right, and then the other side is going to go into the other tower. So it looks like we've got plenty of hoppers for this. There we go. Did that go into a hopper? I don't know. I think it went into my inventory. So then the next thing we need to do is take a signal out of this. And we're probably going to have to build the ground up a touch. And I don't have any netherrack on me. We'll borrow some. There we go. That'll do. That's going to be plenty. Back into the basement. Yes. Right. So we're going to have to take a signal out of this and work out what we need to do and when we need to do it. So, signal coming out. And we need a little bit of platform there. Comparator to get the fact that there's an item in the dropper. Then a repeater to boost the signal strength. Then we need a block. I'll just use a netherrack block. And then we'll get that signal to repeat back round. And I think for that, it's 2 bits of redstone and a repeater there. And I think that should... Oh, that one needs to be in subtract. And I think actually that needs to be a comparator. So ideally now, when I put an item in here... Yeah, look, this flashes. Perfect. We'll take that item out. Now we need to get the signal from that flash up this tower. Okay, which is probably the difficult bit. This is in the way. And I accidentally knocked the wall down a little bit. Just be terrible if there was a ghast just the other side there. These two are noisy. I wasn't expecting them to be so noisy. Anyway, yes, to do this, we're just going to take a redstone torch coming out of there, and then somehow loop that into this tower here, and we're going to just put some blocks up the side. What blocks have we got to work with? Not a lot. You know what? I'm going to go and get some blocks, and then we'll do the torch tower. So I've replaced the detection circuit with some green wool, some dark green wool, and I've got some black wool for this bit as well. So we're going to just start making a tower here. We're going to start by placing a block, putting a torch on it, block, torch, and not like that though. Come on. Now I don't know if we're going to be able to do it with this light source here. We'll see. Probably not. Where is the light source gone? I think I knocked it off. And this torch tower is one of the easiest and old-fashioned torch towers you can do. However, there is a drawback to this torch tower, and that's the fact that items get stuck in the tower. Not stuck permanently, just while the system's off. And when the system goes back on again, it starts flowing through. And because we've just got a stream of gold, and we're going to have a lot of it, that doesn't bother me. Okay, so I'm happy to take the easy design with the slight drawback. So we're just making our little tower up the back here. And this should be enough just to activate absolutely everything all the way up. There we go. Now we don't... Oh, we're at the roof. We don't need that glass pane there. And I think I'm going to have to put a block there. So let's just move out. Block and torch. Okay, that should be it. Right, let's get down. There we go. Can I get... I can't actually get out of here, can I? Oh no, I'm stuck. There we go. Right. So now we just need to connect up the detection and clock circuit to the torch tower. And that's quite easy. We can do that with a redstone line. However, we don't want redstone here because that will connect up to this comparator into the side. So we'll just put a repeater there to kind of skip past the comparator. Like that. And there we go. That should do it. So if we put a load of gold in that chest, it should all end up in the top there. The last part of this puzzle, if I can figure out how to get out of here, I'll just go this way, is the, like I say, you have to kick-start this. So all the gold will automatically feed up and go into the droppers, but you need to be able to activate those droppers, get them going. And to do that, we're just going to have a button and a slab tower of some description. So I think if I put the button here, that's not going to interfere with this chest, and we just need to work out how we're going to do that tower. So I'm just going to get all my slabs. We don't need this anymore. I'm just going to do some tidying up, put the floor back in, and then we'll connect that circuit. Okay, the floor's in, so it's now time to connect up that button. We can do that probably by getting this out here, and it needs to go up somewhere up here and into the sides of these lamps, I think. So we're going to have to take out a little bit of this, try and figure out exactly how it goes. I think in the side there and into the side there is correct. And then we can bring that down here. I need some more glass. Let's just pick up some more glass. There we go. And have I got that right? So it's coming down outwards to begin with. So outwards to begin with. And then if we bring it in, let's just get rid of that glass block. We don't need that. Bring it... I just realised these hoppers are going to pick up anything that I drop on the floor. So I need to be careful about that. Let's take that out. Okay. Now, I did one note that I forgot to mention earlier. We are only detecting on this side, but activating both sides. That's because this side actually has one more hopper to get to it. So it's actually one hopper tick slower. And that's the side we detect from. So then it's fine. Okay, so then we've got this signal that we're going to be putting on these half slabs. And then if we just put some more glass blocks like this and like this, we can put one slab there and there. We just need to connect it up to this, so that should do it, I think. I need to get up there. I forgot. Oh, see what I mean? Oh no! Oh, it just fired it somewhere. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, thank goodness for that. Got to be careful about this. Okay, here we go. So the signal comes out of there, and then up the side, into that. I can't really get rid of that, but I can just do a little block here. And it goes up these half slabs and into the side of the lamp, which will kickstart the process. Fantastic. So the redstone on this project isn't that complicated. It took me a little while to work out a neat and clean way of doing things. I could have done things a lot more poorly, I suppose is one way of saying it. But when I press that button now, it'll activate both of these lamps at the same time. Right, let's get rid of this temporary glass, tidy up, make sure everything looks nice. That's going to fire the system. And we're going to end up with one there and one here. We can put the slab back. There we go. So we've gone right up to the back wall, right up to the ceiling, and we've got a bit of space here at the front. My plan most of the time along here was to actually just fill in around the top here. So you can see I've got a lot of extra blocks there. So if I jump up here, I was just going to fill in this glass wall just to tidy and neaten it up like this. Just fill in the glass, because when glass is filled in you can see through it easier. Like that. And just get in there. Same on this side, but I think I've got a little gap at the top, so oh dear, this is, I should have left some scaffold around here, shouldn't I? That looks okay, that looks okay. Yeah, so I'm just missing like one block up there. Yeah, this is the easiest way to do it. So that's the block I was missing. Put one on the side as well. And then fill in that. Fill in that. Get down here. Take the bottom one out. Put the floor back in, and then just go and do the last ones. Oh, look at that. There we go. Now we've got a nice little wall. Our two little guys are up there. So we've got Paul and Barry. We've got no gold in here right now, but this is where we're going to give it its final test. So, let's get a load of gold. And by a load of gold, I mean a load, because this is the last thing we're doing today. And we're going to shove all this gold in here. And we can hear it all activating. We're actually going to go through and have a little look. Okay, so if we look in the bottom one here, we've got a zombie piglin spawn down there. The gold ingots are flowing in nicely, going up there, and they should be coming into these droppers. But oh no, the droppers are powered, so we're now flooding the gold up there, and now we need to kickstart it with that. And there we go. They've both got a piece of gold each, and the next one's been dispensed. See what items they drop. Can't really see from this angle, but the items should be continuing to flood up here. Yep, going nicely, and this dropper will be filling up as well. Oh, absolutely fantastic. Still emptying out of here. Everything is working absolutely brilliantly, and look at this. Lots of cool items. We're getting all the soul sand we could want, some obsidian, crime obsidian. That's going to be nice for decoration. I think it also emits light. Oh, and there's an achievement too. Let's put it on top of here if I can get it just right. And there. Cool. I like that. Well, I'm going to leave that there temporarily, because that's our first ever bit of crying obsidian. Well, actually, no. Technically, one of those is our first. But we're getting ender pearls through this as well. We don't need string, but we're getting some. I suppose we can always use it as wool. I'm not going to actually... Shall I do something about the floor? Because we shouldn't need to go in the other side of this build. And I kind of like having it so that you can see the technical aspects behind. I suppose really if we're going to make things nice and neat, we should just finish off by putting a bit of glass there. We don't actually need that block here, so in theory we could put a bit of glass there as well. Oh, that's even better. That is even better. Well, there we go, folks. 3 projects in 1 episode. Not only have we got a nice ejection system, we've got a teleport system, and we've got gold trading now. So that is absolutely brilliant. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you've got any questions, thoughts and ideas, put them down in the comment section. And for all my news and all that sort of stuff, go to masterhellish.net. You can support me with Viewer Plus, and information all about Viewer Plus is on the website too. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching, take care, and goodbye.